Okay, since we're getting close to that time of the year again, we're getting close to winter, it's time you should be thinking about your cold weather gear. I did a walkthrough of a farm fleet hunting type store here a couple weeks ago, and I seen that last year's items are all out on the clearance now. They're making room for this year's hunting and cold weather stuff. I did not buy anything. I just did a quick walkthrough before I had a doctor's appointment. And it occurred to me that I haven't talked about this particular thing yet, and that is face coverings or face masks. Now, I know some people are thinking of, the terrorist style, keep your face covered year round and that stuff. I'm thinking right now on it's winter time, you're trying to prevent frostbite. This is a good time to go to those stores, see what's on the clearance racks, what's on the markdowns, and pick stuff out. Even if you don't need one, if you got the extra cash, get a hold of a few face masks for adding to your 510 program or militia supply room program where you have spare gear to pass out to other people. It won't just be, they won't have boots, they won't have rucksacks, they won't have load-bearing equipment. They may have improper snivel gear or cold weather gear or wet weather gear, your rain gear. So here we got some examples on face coverings and that stuff, and I go from military to the civilian. Now, when I first went in the military, the only stuff they issued us for face coverings is this stuff here. You were issued your pile cap or your helmet liner. This is designed to go underneath the Kevlar helmet. On the side here, there's a little slits. That's where your chin strap went through, so that you could still button it underneath your chin. These still work really good, okay, but the big issue was your face is uncovered. Well, a big thing the military did back in the 90s is they issued us gator necks or neck gaiters. This is just a elastic piece of brown cloth. This one's old and worn out. They're not normally this large. They're usually about this large in size. This one is just, I've had it for 20 some years and it's been through a lot of winters. This thing would go, you put it down over your head down to your neck. You bring the back of it up over the top of your head, and then the front of it you could bring up to over your face, and because of its elasticity it would cinch up over your face just a little bit, but you still had to cover the top of your head, and that's where we would use either our pile cap or our black issue watch cap or wool cap. Now later in the 90s, it was like, I want to say 97, 98, they started issuing out actual ski masks to the troops. Before that, you were guaranteed you were getting this stuff. Very few units got the actual ski masks unless they were super high speed and had high budgets. This is a black Bacalavas. This is the government issue ski mask that we had back in the 90s into the early 2000s. Obviously, it would not be authorized nowadays because it's black. But all you had on this is just the opening, which would be primarily just for your eyes. This would go up over your nose. Your mouth would be down in here. You'd have just your eyes. The chin strap of your helmet would come underneath your chin on the outside. There is no slit in the side of this for running your chin strap through. These worked really good. We preferred these over this stuff. It kept you a lot warmer. These are wool. There is a piece of plastic, vinyl, I don't know the type of material, on the front of the face here where your mouth and your nose would be. An issue that happens over time is the inside of it the material will wear down. I don't know if you can tell. See if I can get it in a picture here. I had to repair mine because this entire piece right in front of my face here literally just came apart over time. It disintegrated, so I had to sew it up. So that's another thing that I had 20 some years now. Now we get over into the civilian stuff. The types of things you'll see at your hunting stores will be more along this type. You'll have a wool type material for the bulk of your head and a lighter material to go over your face. And they come in a lot of different colors, a lot of different camouflage patterns and that stuff. If I had to choose one, I'd say for most of the United States, you should be thinking more towards the grayish and brownish patterns. If you're in the really northern part of the United States, like just below the Canadian border and that stuff, then probably think of more towards the white to gray patterns for your face mask. Now they also, technology has improved obviously. You're seeing the wool stuff, like the old watch cap here, the old PT cap, getting replaced with fleece. They went through in the military, they updated stuff over time. By the time I got out, you know, we were not issued a newer style ski mask or Bacalavas yet. At least my unit had not gotten them in stock. I think they did issue them out not long after I left though. But those would be out there. Those would be more of your gray greens and just straight green. I don't know if they make any under the new Marpat patterns or the new digital patterns or that stuff. I'm sure they're out there. This is one that is actually an issue type with my company that is available for the employees for use during winter time because they don't want to get sued because of someone getting frostbite from having to work in extreme temperatures during the winter. So they make these available for people to use during cold weather months. This one is not actually a fleece. Here, I'll show the label for you on this, in case you're wondering who made it and stuff. Like a cirrus. Let me read the label here. This is a blend of, the body is 88% polyester, 12% spandex. The face piece is 70% neoprene, 15% nylon, and 15% polyester. So this is definitely an item you do not want to put inside a dryer. That's something to keep in mind also. When you wash this stuff, I would not put it through a dryer. I would set it out, let it air dry. These work okay. Once you get really windy and that stuff, it will cut through it, but it does cut it down considerably. So this type of thing is out there. I know what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to get some extras of those from work. We have a bin that's has the stuff from previous years and that stuff from employees who quit, that were fired and that type of stuff. Well, they have to turn their gear back in. They can't keep it. Mostly it's people who walked off, left the stuff inside their lockers and that. And the company cleaned out the locker and they tossed the stuff in this big box, and you can pull it from the box and use it if you lose yours. So I've been trying to pick out a few extras and that stuff, just so I have some extras on hand for passing out. This will work. You still got the big opening for the face. This goes to just over the top of your nose. If you can see here, it's open for you to breathe through here, and then there's little vent holes for you to speak through. On these that you see the most at hunting stores and that stuff, show you the face piece here. Same thing, you got the opening for your eyes, covering that goes up over your nose. and you typically have the mouth slit underneath so that you can speak, you can take a drink of water, whatever. It seems to be all similar pattern on that with different companies. Now I will show you one that I do not recommend. I had gotten this from Cheaper Than Dirt back when we were told this stuff was no longer authorized. We could no longer wear black. So I figured, and others did too, green would still be authorized. So I went to Cheaper Than Dirt at the time and bought that. This is a cheap ass knockoff, and as you can see, it really would not fit anybody. I mean, it's so freaking large it looks like it would go over the top of a Kevlar. You got the spot for your eyes, and it does not extend low enough to go down to your neck. When I put it on, it left a huge area open that wind could come through. It just hangs off of the face and your head, and it fills up with air when the wind would blow. This is actually made by, I've seen a label on here. It's a Voodoo product, and I can't tell the other part of it here. But I will try to do a, it looks like it's might be Voodoo Tactical, but I'm not sure. Let me turn on the light so you can maybe avoid this one. This mask sucks. There's no length on it. You want the bottom of your face mask to go down into your jacket so that it helps protect your neck and that stuff from wind. It keeps the wind from causing your mask to puff up and that. This fails miserably. This works good for that. It clings, it's just tight, it goes around your head and that stuff. It's still pretty pillowy and that stuff, so you still get your airspace for that insulation around you. These work also, and this type, if you see here, it's more elastic or stitched so that it'll close in underneath your chin to try to block it off, and you still got that distance for going down to your jacket. This has that somewhat also. You see it closes in down underneath your chin. You got a little bit of length. The particular jackets we get issued for use during winter time, these work with the style of collars and that stuff that we have on them, so it mats up really well. I'll just take this and chuck that. This does not come down to your neck. That's where that comes into play. That would come down to your neck, down to the top of your shoulders, protecting that area from the wind. So you want something that will allow moisture to escape, but will not allow wind and the cold to just drive its way through. So you want that wicking action for the material, which will draw your perspiration out, because as you're moving, as you're working, you're going to sweat. These work good for that, and so do these. They will draw the moisture away from your skin and send it out. The weave on the material is close enough, it cuts down on the wind that gets through. It allows a little bit of cool coming through to help keep you cool or cooler as you're walking around and that stuff, so you're not sweating your ass off. So go to your stores, your nearby stores right now, see what's on the clearance racks. Just because it was made last year or the year before does not mean that it doesn't work. It just means they're coming out with a different style for this year. You know, as long as you're not getting like a blaze orange or something like that for use during tactical operations, you should be good to go. So those are just some things, different styles that you'll see out there. What companies made these? Let's see if I can find a label, and I don't think I will. Believe it or not, that does not say. There is a label in here, but it does not say the manufacturer. And I don't see any type of markings on the outside. But that style you basically can find at any hunting store. So, and all of them are going to be pretty close, pretty similar in construction and materials. There is a Gore-Tex hood or CVC hood that was manufactured for the military. It is all green. It had just a opening that went around your face. It was designed for wearing underneath the CVC helmet. It had a flared bottom on it. So think of it like this, but it was a lot wider, went down deeper. That was designed to go underneath your field jacket for drivers on vehicles when they had to keep their head outside the vehicle when they're driving. I personally never used it. I knew some people that only used that. They would not use the black Bacalavas. You might come across those. They seem to work okay. They are a little bit thicker than the black Bacalavas. The weave on them seemed to be tighter and all that stuff. They were supposed to have like a Gore-Tex type core inside the cloth covering, from my understanding. Things to consider and look for now before the prices really go up. We're just now entering into the cold weather months. The new stuff is going to be coming into stores. The prices are going to go up. So look at those clearance racks. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.